going to go ahead and get started because I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. My name is Beth Scott, and I am the Women in Engineering and Outreach Coordinator for the Swanson School of Engineering. And I'm joined today with three of our ambassadors who can't wait to take you on a tour of Benedum Hall. And you're going to see some smart classrooms, some labs, our lobby, some of our co-curricular offices. This is Benedum Hall behind me and the Cathedral Learning sticking out behind that. So we're really proud of our facilities. The Benedum Hall was recently renovated in 2017. It underwent a $150 million renovation, and 41.3 million of that came from Dr. John Swanson, and he is our namesake of the school. And part of the goal of the renovation was to incorporate more sustainability into the building. So throughout the building, you'll see lots of exposed ceilings, green roofs, motion activated lights. It's a gold LEED certified and has a certificate of sustainability. And this is the Mascaro Center for Sustainability behind me. It's an interdisciplinary research floor that focuses on sustainable innovation. So without further ado, I'm gonna let Andrew tell us a little bit about our smart classrooms. Andrew.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Beth. Well, hey, everyone. My name's Andrew. I'm a chemical engineering student here at Pitt. And so, yeah, I'm currently sitting in one of our smart classrooms in Benedum Hall. And so, like Beth said, Benedum Hall is recently renovated. I believe the renovations were completed in like 2016 or 2018. And when we renovated this building, we completely gutted it and redesigned pretty much everything in the building. And one of the key features of the redesign were these smart classrooms. So I'm gonna take you with me here. We're gonna take a look at this classroom. So every department has a few of these classrooms here. And so a few different features of these classrooms, I'll flip my camera around here, is they are much wider than they are deep. So these classrooms, depending on what classroom you're in, they'll typically hold about like 60 to 80 students. But even if like you have a class of like 60 or 80 students, it doesn't always feel like that. You can kind of see in here, like you're always, even if you're in the way back the classroom, you're only like 3 rows behind the professor. So it really makes it easy to interact with the professor, for the professor to interact with you, and it just makes your bigger classes feel a lot smaller. And that's just a really, really awesome feature. Another great feature here is these desks. So you can see 6 students usually sit at a desk. That's not happening right now due to COVID, obviously, but in a normal semester, we'll have 6 students sitting at a desk, and you'll also notice there are only 3 computer monitors. So why is that? Is that because Pitt decided to cheap out when buying computers for our students? No, that's not why. It's actually done to encourage collaboration. So engineering is a field that involves a lot of collaboration and a lot of teamwork. And I've experienced that in my co-op, where I've been able to work in industry and actually experience how important teamwork and collaboration is in this field. And so at Pitt, collaboration is integrated in pretty much all the engineering classes across the board. So you're always collaborating with other students, be it on homework assignments, projects, even quizzes. Honestly, in most of my classes, the only assignments that are done individually are exams. So all the quizzes, projects, and everything are done in teams. And so that helps teach you teamwork skills, which are really, really important. And it's definitely helped me professionally as an engineer when I go into co-op and I'm able to better work with engineers and better manage projects, because I've had that experience in my classes. So that's a really, really neat feature. Another few really cool features here. We have this really high-tech podium for the professors, as well as 2, and some classes even have 3 projector screens. So you can always see the screen no matter where you're at. Some nice windows over here. And then I'm going to take you out to another collaboration space. So I'm currently on our 3rd floor, and so this is actually one of our 3rd floor hallways. So what you can see out here, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, I'm trying to be a little bit quiet, but out here you can see one of our hallways. This is a popular study space for our students. So there's a lot of seating area, as you can see. You can see the walls are all lined. Let's see here. The walls are all lined with whiteboards. So the students have the opportunity to come out here, work with other students, and just hang out and study. And it just creates this really great atmosphere, especially when the campus is fully open and everyone's all around the building, but it creates this really collaborative atmosphere. It's really fun to be around. It's fun to just walk down the hallway and see your friends studying and hop in and maybe help them out with a problem or a question that they're having trouble with. So it just creates this really collaborative, enjoyable, social experience. And I really, really love that. It's one of my favorite parts about the engineering school here at Pitt is that there is no competition between students. Everyone just wants to help each other succeed. And that's something that's really, really unique, really, really special.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, and I think the fact that we are a medium-sized engineering schoolhouse within a larger university gives that option for you to really get to know your peers and your colleagues. And with those collaborative spaces, that encourages it even more. So we'll be hearing a little bit from you later when you head down to our basement and sub-basement. So thanks, Andrew. We're going to switch gears and we're going live to Kristen, who is in G34, our Art of Making class. And she's going to tell us a little bit about that maker space and that opportunity if you are a freshman and beyond, I guess. Thanks, Kristen.
Yes, thank you, Beth. Like she said, my name is Kristen. I'm a bio, I'm a first year, and I am outside our G34 makerspace. So I'm outside because I actually have some cool things to show you in the hallway. First off, we have this whiteboard. The Art of Making emblem is really known throughout the engineering school. The Art of Making class is an elective engineering class that you may take your freshman year, like me. I'm currently in it, but it's also an elective for any engineers to take if you don't have the chance to take it your freshman year. And the coolest thing about the Art of Making is that you actually make projects that further the community. So right outside here, we have the trophy room of projects. We have some projects out here that are super cool and things that actually don't make too long to make. This project is part of our Little Bits project, and it actually takes place in 1 week's time. So in 1 week, 4 people were able to build that little robot. And over here, we have capstone project trophies. So capstone project is something we do at the end of our semester, and it's a huge project that takes place over 6 weeks' time, and you actually present it in front of multiple judges. You have a huge team of people working towards this, and it's a solution that really furthers the community. So this is a kids can. One of my TAs in the class made this during his Art of Making class, and this is actually designed for children with profound mental and physical disabilities that have difficulty developing basic motor skills. So this ball actually lights up and makes sounds, and it was made to be used in the School for Blind Children, which is actually just down the street. So I'm gonna walk right in on G34. There are some students in my class doing some projects, so I'm gonna be respectful of their space, but I'm gonna walk around them and show you guys what I can. So inside, these are a team of students working actually on one of our projects that are due. You guys can say hi. And when you walk in, you see already we have a huge room with pretty much anything you could ever want in a makerspace. So right here, like I was telling you, have Little Bits, and these can be used to create anything you want with any type of motor. And then over here, we have a sewing machine, we have a vinyl cutter, a 3D printer, regular printer, we have computers, and a whole gallery of a plethora of supplies over here, pretty much anything you could ever need. What the Art of Making likes to say is you bias towards action. So you bias towards doing what you can, do it quick and do it as best as you can. So recently, we actually are working on something called a Makey Makey project. So a Makey Makey is, it's a pre-wired little circuit that you actually can connect to anything conductive, and you connect it back to the circuit, and then you ground the circuit, and you can use whatever you want as a substitute for like your computer keys. So for example, if I plug an alligator clip into an orange, into the circuit board, on the ground, and back to the orange, I complete my circuit, and now every time that I click that orange, it'll be like I'm pressing the space bar on my computer. So as you can see here, there are a ton of different things you can do in the Art of Making class. It's everyone, pretty much anyone you ask who is taking this class says it was their favorite class at Pitt so far in the engineering school. So I'll hand it back to you, Beth.
Thank you, Kristen. And you guys, you're working on your senior project right now, or your freshman capstone project, aren't you?
Yes, my group actually just came up with our idea. My friend Bronco and I pitched our idea to the class. And you do something called an ideation. So everyone pitches their idea, and then you kind of put your name on a sticky note and put it on the idea you want to do. So my idea was chosen, and my idea is actually working on the understanding of how children learn math when they're younger and how we can incorporate using physical objects to better that understanding. So I will let you guys know as I go forward with that.
Great, thank you. And Kristen just showed us one of many maker spaces within Benedum Hall. We have a couple more. We have the Treehouse and BO6 and a number of other ones. So thanks for showing us G34, Kristen. Okay, we're gonna switch over to Allison, who is live in our lobby. She's gonna show us a little bit about where our first year programming offices are. There she is. And our lobby and some of the collaborative spaces for studying there and how you get in and out of Benedum Hall in a pandemic. So Allison, welcome, and thanks for showing us the lobby.
Hi, I'm Allison. I'm a junior chemical engineering student. So I am sitting in Benedum Lobby, which is kind of like the hub of information and a really big social space within Benedum, especially when we're not in a pandemic. So behind me is the orange desk, which is really a one-stop shop for anything you would ever need in Benedum. All of the first year offices are back there, so all of your advisors, then the co-op office, the International Experience office. And basically, if you need something, it is probably behind the orange desk. Just ask someone and they will know where to point you. And then around us are multiple study spaces that are very collaborative and like very open within Benedum. So over here, we have tables lined all the way back that people are always studying at, and even more, I'm sitting in a bunch of couches, just, you know, relax and talk and socialize. And then in the back there are even more couches. So Benedum Lobby is really a place that people come to talk, to socialize, do work. It's always bustling. And speaking of bustling, the front door is right here. And as you can see, we have the table of people waiting there, monitoring as people come in. You come in, you swipe your Pitt ID, you take your temperature, and then you're free to go about the building. And that's how we really control and make sure that people coming in and out are supposed to be here and are safe. There's also an entrance on the ground floor that does the same thing. And then if I turn you all the way around, I am looking at Benedum Patio, which is a very, very nice green space on campus. You know, you need to get out of like studying and doing all your work. You can go outside, you can sit on the bench, you can breathe in the fresh air when it's not raining outside. And we usually have a really, really nice view of the cathedral. A little gray today, but it's still nice to look at. But Benedum Lobby is really one of the main places that I hang out in Benedum, and that a lot of people do because you're so close to everything that you need.
Thank you, Allison. And I know that Benedum Lawn, in the area right behind you, you can rent blankets and go sit out on Benedum Lawn and hang out on a nice day. And all the organizations are always holding some type of event of some sort, and they're grilling out, cooking out, and lots of projects going on. It's a great space. Yeah. So thank you for showing that to us. And we are going to switch back to Andrew, who is live. Where are you, Andrew?
Yeah, so I'm currently on the sub-basement floor. So Benedum Hall, where you saw Allison was just sitting, she was on the first floor, then there's a ground floor, and there's a basement, and then there's the sub-basement. So this is really, really deep down in Benedum Hall. And this is where it's actually probably my favorite floor in the whole building, because this is where all the labs are. And I love to get my hands dirty. I love to be in a lab. And so I'm currently sitting in our FSAE lab. So FSAE stands for Formula Society for Automotive Engineers. So this is a really, really cool club on campus. And they actually, every year, they build a race car from scratch. And it's just incredible. I'm going to flip the camera around and just kind of show you their workshop here. So you can see believe this is the car from last year that they're disassembling. And then you can see here, they completely weld the body of the car from scratch. Pretty much like the whole car, all the control components, a lot of engine parts, everything like that is all designed from scratch by hand by students. And this is completely student-led, a student-run organization. And it's really cool because as older students get older and they become seniors and they're close to graduation, they pass on all their knowledge to the younger students. And so this is a great way that if you're really involved and you're really interested in learning about cars, building cars, you could quite literally learn how to build a car from scratch here at Pitt and not ever really work with a professor on it. It's a super, super cool opportunity. A lot of the students who work in this lab will go on to get jobs or internships or co-ops with companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Honda, places like that, big car companies. And they actually end up having very, very successful careers in the industry. And, you know, in engineering, hands-on experience is definitely really, really important. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we walk through this hallway here. But this is just, I think, a testament to how well Pitt Engineering professors and classes prepare students to do hands-on work and to actually complete hands-on projects. So, you know, this is just like, this room just completely blows my mind. I'm not a car guy at all. I can't even change my own oil, but I'm just amazed at seeing how our students really do such amazing things with engineering in here. So I'm gonna walk down the hallway here. This hallway might be loud because there's a lot of machinery in this building here, but I'll just show you guys what this hallway looks like. All of our civil engineers keep all their cement here. Sometimes clogs the hallway here, but you can see here, this is one lab. I believe this is an electrical engineering lab. So students getting a hands-on experience. I believe this is a mechanical engineering lab over here and over here. And then on this end, yes, this is a civil engineering lab. And then down here is our chemical engineering lab. This is my favorite lab because, of course, I'm a chemical engineer. And so labs are a really important part of the student experience here at Pitt. Labs are definitely my favorite part of the curriculum, but labs are just a great opportunity to get that hands-on experience before you go into industry, which is really, really valuable. So I can speak for the Chemi lab in here. We have scaled down versions of all of the big machinery that you would find in industry in a chemical plant, which is super, super helpful because you get to experiment with, test these little, like, let's say a cooling tower. You get to test a little cooling tower, see how it works in the lab, and then when you get to industry or you get to your co-op, you already know how a cooling tower operates. You already know the science behind it. You know the chemistry behind it. And it's just a really, really great opportunity to like get that hands-on experience. And it's really helpful for me. I learned about cooling towers my first semester as a chemical engineer here at Pitt in this very lab. And then I went to my co-op and I actually had to work on a cooling tower. And I actually completely knew how to do everything. And my bosses were really surprised. And that's because these labs really, really do prepare you for you know, the real world. Another great part about these labs is they do a lot of presentation and soft skill projects. So soft skills are just as important as those technical skills that you'll learn in classes. Presentation skills, for example, teamwork skills, like I talked about earlier. You know, these are all like papers, writing technical papers. These are all really, really important skills. And all of our labs here at Pitt, every department in the whole school has labs, and they all incorporate both that real world applications, experiments, as well as soft skills. They teach soft skills such as presentations, papers, etc. So definitely a really, really great experience here at Pitt with our labs.
That was great. And we only lost you once in the sub basement. Sometimes our signals don't get down that deep. So I'm so glad you were able to show us the Formula One car, which is very cool. And then all those lab spaces, Andrew. That was great. So thank you very much. We're going to go back up to the 8th floor, and Kristen's going to show us our power systems lab on the 8th floor. And so that's where electrical engineering and computer engineering are housed. Is that correct, Kristen?
Yes, it is. Thank you. So like Beth said, I'm on the 8th floor in the electronic power systems lab. So I'll tell you a little bit about this lab, but first let me give you a good look at it. So as you can see, there are a bunch of blue boxes, and those blue boxes do not just function aesthetically, but they actually have their own little, large circuits within them. We like to call this lab a house within a box, because this lab has its own isolated power circuit system. So students are able to actually have all of that hands-on experience like they would if they were working on an entire building. But if they make mistakes, then they'll bring all of the electronics down with it in Benedum. So we love this lab because these engineers are, like I said, they have great experience for industry when they go on co-op or when they do internships or anything like that. Yeah, so let me give you another, just look at this lab once again. These blue boxes actually have the isolated circuit system within it. And obviously right now, because of COVID, there's not too many people, but normally these, the computer engineering and electric engineering have their labs within this lab. So yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you, Kristen. That was great. So that concludes our tour for today. And I want to thank Andrew, Kristen, and Allison for joining us. They're going to hang out. And if you have any questions, they are here to answer your questions for you. In the chat function, you can put your question right in there, or you are welcome to turn on your video and audio and ask away if you would like to do that. I also put in the chat function a link to our student panel talk. So wherever you went on that website in admissions to register for this virtual tour, you could come to a panel talk on Monday evenings. We have ambassadors who talk about our different co-curricular programs and talk a little bit about our organization. So it's a great combination. If you do both, you get a lot of great information about the Swanson School of Engineering.